Good evening. Welcome. Hi, Kelsey. Noxie. Good evening. Hope you can hear me. Somebody will tell me if they can't. Hope everybody's well. Evening, Clary. Black Queen, hi. I hear it's been raining up your way. Man, it has here. Saying that, I've had some family up on Oliver's Mount at the, I don't know, whatever you call it, it was there. Motorcycling, is it? Oliver's Mount, I'm not quite sure now. But there you go. But I've just had a 3/4 of an hour chat with the lad. And it lovely. As though we hadn't spoken for 3 months. Well, we hadn't spoken for 3 months. Now I come to think of it. No wonder it was so long. Well, there you go. So we've been Barry Sheen this weekend. I thought Barry Sheen was dead. Is he still around? By hell. Oh, well, you learn something every day, I suppose. All it seems to rain at that on the weekend that Oliver's Mount's on it, doesn't it? I seem to recall last time it was on, it rained. It was buzzing. We had a good chat, Kels, about what we should be aiming to do, and for once in his life, he's listening to his granddad and not listening to every other Tom, Dick, and Harry, which is good for me, good for him, and there we go. Got plenty of things in the pipeline. All right, okay, so it's a Barry Sheen weekend, even though, yeah, I understand what you mean now. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. So that's got rid of the Barry Sheen weekend, hasn't it? Oliver's Mount. Long time since I've been to Oliver's Mount. A very long time. I think last time I went, I was about 20, 21 or something like that. Maybe a little bit older than that, but not much. It's not my thing, unfortunately, motorbikes. I was gonna tell you why I don't like motorbikes, but it sounds really stupid when I think about it. And it's not necessarily motorbikes. I think I was 14. Yeah, just bear with me. P number. Just bear with me a second, and I'll do it for you. There you go. I presume that's what you're talking about, AMZ. There you go, look. Kelsey's on the ball. I don't need to put it up on the thing, but it's there anyway. If anybody wants to send him a message, email him. 68 pence to email, I think. Something like that anyway. Yeah, so back in the day, a long way back in the day, I was 14, maybe going on 15. It was just before I joined up. And my the lads I was at school with all bought Lambrettas. I didn't. I wasn't, but all my friends did. And you know what it's like when you're kids and you get a bit of power between your legs. it goes to your head. It does with me anyway, but that's a different story. Yeah, and it's so one of my mates says, do you want to have a go? And I was a bit iffy about it. And he just said, it's easy, just turn that and it'll go faster. So I said, oh, okay then. Anyway, so I climbed on the back of this Lambretta and set off. Well, look me, I went straight across the road, hit the wall at the other side, went over the wall and bashed me. I don't know if it was here or here. I've got a split lip and a split ear somewhere, where I had to have stitches. And he was more worried about his bloody Lambretta than he was about me. And I said, well, you dickhead, you didn't tell me how to stop. You just told me how to go. I soon found out how to stop, hit a wall. So I never went on another one after that. So that put me off. Putting power down there. I use the power in different ways now, or then. Well, whenever I got the chance, really. So there we go. So let's just have a look. AMZ, good evening. Have I missed anybody? No, we've got everybody in, I think. Yes, I've just had a good, I think about 3/4 of an hour chat with Levi. We didn't talk much about what he was doing now. It was more about when he comes out and how we're, yeah, Kelsey, it was. There was a little bit in it. God, I got home with I think 4 stitches up here, or it might have been the other thing, and a couple of stitches in my lip. And my mother beat the shit out of me. Fancy coming home like that, you little twat. Well, she didn't say twat, but she implied it. So she gave me a good belting. So there you go. So not only did I hit a wall, go over the top, get bloody all these things stuck in my face, but I got a belting for it. Never went on one again. Not once. I've not once been on a motorised bike. God, there's lots of puns coming out, isn't there, really? Yeah, it wasn't the best day, Clary, but yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, so we, like I say, we've had a good chat and been putting things in place ready for when he comes out, how it's going to work, because the most important thing, really, Clary didn't mention anything about heat and showers because we were on more important matters. Heat and showers was not part of the conversation as such. So I've totally forgotten where I was. Yeah, so the idea, of course, is to I don't know, there's a word, and you'll have to forgive me while I think of the word, but there's a word I need to use for the ideas we've got coming up. So I don't know if anybody knows or if anybody realises, but Levi's channel is still there, still up and running. I occasionally put it on a couple of messages and posts and stuff like that, but it's still there. There's still a bucket full of subs, and he's got some really loyal members. So of course, when he comes out, he's not going to be going on, I don't know, to speakeasy stuff. You know what I mean, don't you? Other people try and get him on their channel so that they can boost up their views. And I'm not being big-headed about that. You know, people don't do anything on YouTube for nothing. You know, I don't know if everybody realizes that, but whatever they do, it's always money orientated. They all say, "Oh, you know, I'm not into this, you know, making money and all that kind of shite," but they are. They all want to make money. So, of course, if they can get somebody who's got a fair few following, and which he has, and he's been missed, and they get him on their channel, well, their channel's going to get hit fairly well. And, you know, so he's not going to be doing stuff like that. Evening, Bobby. Hope you're well. Hopefully I won't fall asleep tomorrow night and we can get together again. But, yeah. What I'll do is I'll make sure I haven't eaten beforehand. Have I said good evening, Sharon, or have you just come in? I'm sure I've said hello. I might be wrong. Anyway, evening, Sharon. Yeah, so he's going to make sure that his members get to see his live first. You know, so he's going to be streaming live to loyal people. And then we'll go from there. One or two little plans in the pipeline. We're going to get our heads together. And yeah, I like the bow tie. It's one of my favourites. Not my favourite. My favourite is Cheg's Grandad. But this one's my second favourite. As people can tell, because I don't normally... I used to change the bow tie every week, different colour and whatever, but to tell you the truth, I can't really be asked. So I just put my hand into the drawer and pull out the first one. And normally the first one's either this one or Cheg's Grandad one, because they're at the top. So there you go. I don't go rooting about for stuff. I just get ready and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And away we go. I've got blotches all over my face. I don't know what it is. Anyway, forgotten where I was now. I've gone off. Do you know, I can easily go that way, or that way, or that way, or that way. It's, you know, really easy. No, Clary, it doesn't. You know, when on the times I went to visit, I always had either this this one on, or my Cheg's Grandad one. You know, and I got some funny looks when you stood outside prison stood there with a dicky bow on. But I really don't give a rat's ass. Don't care. Well, yeah, it's when I go to, I'll be going to soon. Now that I'm like 99% back to normal, I shall be seeing if we can arrange a visit to Donny. And Sharon, of course you should. I don't know. Do you know, Sharon? I don't know what a dicky bow would look like on a female. You don't see many females with dicky bows on, do you? But yeah, anything. It breaks the monotony of life, doesn't it? Well, you know, that's the way I think. You know, everybody's on about, you know, oh, what's your USP? You say, well, my USP is this: dicky bows. As you know, I always wear a dicky bow on the Sunday nights. I think there's only once where I've failed, but I do normally wear a dicky bow on a Sunday night. I don't on a Monday night because that's more frivolous, I think is the word. But there you go. Yeah, it'll cheer him up. And sound of him tonight, he doesn't need cheering up. And of course, if he's only got 50 odd days to do, well, it's nothing, is it? I've spent longer in the dinner queue. And yeah, so like I say, we've got a few ideas what we're going to do, but he's going to make sure that I'm lost because I don't think that comment there from Sharon is actually for me. I think it's for somebody else. Well, there you go. Well, you know, again, I've gone off the plot again. About, you know, like I say, it just goes. Don't know where it goes, but it goes, and then it'll come back to it, go around it like a bloody boomerang. It goes out, and goes all the way around, comes back in the other ear, and I remember what I was talking about then. Yeah, so he's going to make sure that the people who've stuck by him, his members, and his first few live streams will be to members. And that's all it'll be to members, because they're the ones who've stuck by him. And Sharon, you don't confuse me, love. It's not difficult to confuse me. And again, all women confuse me. That's the story of my life. Confused by women. That they should put that on me. I will have a gravestone. I'll be chucked in the sea so that nobody can walk on my grave. But there you go. Yeah, I was talking about members only. So yeah, it's going to be focusing first few days on his members only while we get his channel back up and running properly, and he's, you know, he has a chance to get some stuff put together to all the others. So of course, if you're not a member, you're not going to see him. So there you go. And I'm not saying that so that everybody says, oh, get out there and be a member. You know, I'm not begging for anybody. I'm just saying for his first couple of weeks, he's not going to be sat on other people's channels, you know, getting questions asked and all that kind of crap, because they'll all want to know the far end of a fart about everything and whatever. And he's he's done wrong. He's gone in. He's done his time, and he wants to get away from that in his life. He doesn't want to be reliving all the shite of the past 2 years. He wants to move on. Paul and women don't mix. Well, we mix, but they definitely don't last. I used to trade them in every 7 years, get a cheaper model. Not a cheaper model, a younger model. Hi, Spikey. Nice to see you, mate. Can't give you a big update because there isn't a big update. I was just telling everybody that that we've had a good chat tonight, and we've got basically getting our heads together and figuring out what he's going to be doing when he gets out in 50 odd days, and it's going to be mostly focused on members. So yeah, that was it. Yeah, trade them in. It was like the 7-year itch. I presume everybody's heard about the 7-year itch. Well, I really had one. 7 years, and that was it. I had to. Evening, Dom. I don't know if have you just come in. Anyway, so what does Sharon want sorting? Have I missed something? Noxie, I think it's $2.99, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'll have a look anyway, because I'll be going on his channel tomorrow to make sure everything's up and running properly and all that kind of stuff. The things you have to do to keep it. Yes, Dom, I'm nearly back to normal. I'm about 95, 99% normal. I've even got rid of that silly thing that, I don't know how taking 3.5 ton of whatever it is they took out of me, how that end can affect this end. But it has, because this end's gone fine now. I don't feel full all the time, and so yeah, I might even, well, in a couple of days I might go out, as long as it stops raining. I don't like going out in the rain. Yeah, it is. It is spiky. Like I say, I thought it was $2.99. Drop in the ocean. Drop in the ocean. Less than a coffee. Yeah, so it's like I said earlier, we are coming up with a few things and how to get him back into the swing of things as such, and so of course he's not going to dive in at the deep end and start going jumping in at the deep end. And I know he's had a few people getting in touch regarding, when you come out, do you think you can come onto my channel and we'll have a good chat and, talk about the old days? Well, nah. The answer is no. I'm his PA, so, and you know what I'm like. You have no chance. Bloody hell. Kids on the block. What's that all about? Yeah, so there you go. That's it. The first thing is, of course, he's going to make sure that his members get to hear his dulcet tones first. So if you're not a member, you're not going to see it. That's all I'm saying. And it's not expensive to be a member, and you can go on his channel now and buy a membership. I don't know what I'm not into memberships, so I don't know what you actually have to do. I know that you just say, here, there's your, I'm a member now. I don't know what you get for it. I don't know how it works. You don't get T-shirt and the mug and all that kind of crap. Well, it's not crap, is it? You know. And you never know. You know, when he comes to write his autobiography, well, members will be getting theirs for free. You know, so it's well worth jumping in, isn't it? I'm not going to say he's doing that as soon as he comes out, but you've got to. Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, you see, Kelsey knows what to do. I don't. I really don't know. I'm only. I'm talking off the top of my head, and what it's my publican background is coming into being again. You know, because being a publican, you've got to sell yourself. You're not selling the pub. You know, oh, come to my pub, it's the best. That's not what they're coming for. They aren't coming for the pub. They're coming for the people at the pub. You know, and it's, you know, the landlord, the landlady, or the landlord's daughters or sons or whatever. You know, so it can be the shittiest pub in town, but if the landlord's cracking, where you're going to go, aren't you? Evening, Gilly. I don't know if I've said evening already, but hi. Oh, excuse me. I've got a duck in my throat. Wow. So, like I say, that's the main crux of my first chat with him for 2 or 3 months. Well, I don't think I've spoke to him since he left Hull Prison on the phone, because some fat little tart made sure that I got banned by Hull. But there you go. That's what fat little tarts do, isn't it? I've had it all my life. Good heavens above, naughty boy. There you go, folks. So 54 or 55 days. We're not quite sure exactly what day he comes out yet, but apparently he might know tomorrow what day it'll be, or date is the word. But they might not give him, you know, they might say, well, it's between the 1st of whatever and no, she hasn't, Dom. She's not been at it again. You know what I'm talking about, but she hasn't been at it again. I was just saying it was her that knacked it up right from the beginning, when I was a little bit green about YouTube and shit like that. My number got banned, or whatever you want to call it, but my telephone number got banned. So there you go. Spikey's got big plans, and you know, you'll have seen when he was doing his channel before, you know, before he got taken away as such. He'd already said what he wanted to do and how he wanted his channel to go, and unfortunately, it didn't quite work out exactly like that. And the reason for that, I think, is he got hooked. Like everybody does, they get hooked on trying to get as many followers or subscribers or whatever you want to call them as quick as you can, you know. And he took a wrong turn in life. Well, we all have, you know, we're all walking a path, and that path is your life. And sometimes you take the left, and sometimes you take the right, and sometimes it's wrong left, and sometimes it's wrong right, if that makes sense, you know. So you just have to realize, yeah, I took that path and it's not quite the one I'm after, so I need to backstep a little bit and go down the other path and go change your life. And that's what he's going to do. He's changing his life. You have Noxie, I've seen it. 19 months. And I can honestly tell you that he does appreciate it, and I appreciate it. You know, I think all these, you know, and there's not thousands, there's not hundreds, you know, these people who kept up their members' payments or whatever, especially when you're not getting anything for it. You're not getting any feedback, are you, or out like that? But he does appreciate it, and you know, so do I. I think it's great. It's great. I love it. And yeah, Spikey, we all make mistakes. I've made hundreds of mistakes in my life, and some of them I haven't even learnt from, because I made the same mistake 3 or 4 times. So, unfortunately for me, I only started making mistakes when my mum passed. And because she always put me in my place, she'd say, no, don't do that, don't do that. Sometimes I listened and sometimes I didn't, but thinking back, I think I should have listened more to my mother, and I wouldn't have made as many mistakes in my life as I have. So there you go, people. If your mum's about still, treasure her. So there you go. And yeah, I don't want to, you know, people, I don't want to come across as though I'm begging people to go, you know, to go and rejoin. If you are a member, rejoin or whatever. If you want to rejoin, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. So, you know, nobody has to make any, I don't know, excuses, or excuses is not the right word. We all have our way in life. We all do what we want to do in life, and we all have our own ideas on what we should be doing. And it's fine. It's fine for everybody. And nothing has to be justified. You know, oh, I've been a member for 2 years, and I've been a member for 2 years, and you know, I've done this and I've done that. Oh, quite honestly, If you've been a member 2 years, fantastic. If you've been a member 2 days, fantastic. You know, it's all there is. But of course, if you're a member and he comes out, you're going to see what his channel is all about. Apple Pay. I don't use Apple Pay. Well, there you go. Yeah. Hopefully I haven't come across as being a twat, because that's not what I'm about. I just want people to know that he appreciates all the subs. You know, I've seen channels where people have been stopped or whatever, and their subs just go to 0 basically. Well, it hasn't. So, you know, there's something there, isn't there? We all know there's something there. The lad's got a talent, and he's going to come out and he's going to show you the talent. And wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I've got piggy hiccups now. Anyway, so people, hope everybody's had a good week. It's been a bit damp this last couple of days, hasn't it? It's absolutely sailed down this afternoon. But the good thing is the grass has gone back to being green. That didn't take long. Last week when I looked, it was basically whitish. But it rained yesterday, it rained the night before, and it's absolutely sailed down this afternoon. And the green, it's just green again. So it just goes to show you, doesn't it? Yeah, so there you go. Getting lost now. Getting lost. What can I go on about now? I'll take off the text thing now, because I presume everybody's got it. They don't need to see it anymore. There we go. Noxie, thank you. But I always thought I did look dapper. Oh, Kels, I'm not sure about the quiz. It's I have a few ideas about Monday night's quiz, but you know, you've got to try and find a way of stopping getting the answers from Google, because it's too easy, isn't it? You whack it into Google and bam, 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 thank you, ma'am, it's there. Or some AI shit and just say, well, this, what is the answer? And so I don't know. I was going to say we could do bingo. Bit like being back at the amusements in Brid when I was a young lad. Cash bingo! Yeah, it is, Kels. Definitely. But like I say, the quiz bit is on the back burner. I have got a few ideas on how to do it, but I have a lot going on in my life at the moment. So, so you know, even though I'm retired, you know, I feel as though I'm even though I'm retired, I seem to be working 12 hours a day, if that makes sense. Saying that, you know, if you love what you're doing and it's work, well, it isn't work, is it? You don't, you know, I don't get up in the morning and think, oh, fucking hell, I've got to go and do this and I've got to go and do that. It's, I get up in the morning and I look forward. I'm, you know, the brain's going round and, oh, I should try that today and I should try that. And, you know, and, oh, I've got an idea about sometimes I get up and I think, yeah, so Kels, you can't wait for Levi to go where? Let's see what you say. Dom, I always put myself first. Now, I didn't used to. It was everybody else was first. I came way down, you know. Indoor golf. Yeah, I used to like indoor golf. But saying that, I liked outdoor golf. But I used to be hooked on golf. I had a pub in just outside Derby. 3 Horseshoes at I can't remember the village. Little village pub, 3 Horseshoes. And me and my mate Neil, who is no longer with us, but we used to get up at 6 o'clock every morning and go and have a round of golf every morning. You know, winter, summer, didn't make any difference. We used to play at a place in just outside Derby, and it used to be back in the day it was a mental institute. But they still had the golf course. I don't think the mental institute was still there, and I'm trying to remember what it was called, because the golf course was still called the name of the nut house. I'd like the tunnels underneath Newcastle city centre. I don't really know. Might do. I don't know. I might have done when I was younger. I like the easier things in life, I think, now. You know, sit back, sit down, have plenty of coffee, and read a good book. And saying that, I sat down on Friday morning, and I've got a book under my TV. Well, I've got quite a pile of books under my TV that I haven't read, but I kept looking all week. I kept looking, and this book was basically saying to me, "Pick me up and read me. You won't be disappointed." Anyway, Friday morning I picked it up, and I put it down like Friday night after finishing it. So, and it was a good book, very enjoyable. But there you go. When you get to this funny age I'm at, you know, you can do what you want, can't you? But all right, so the tunnels in Newcastle were for air raids. Now, funnily enough, talking of air raid shelters, there you go. As I don't know if anybody remembers, but I was born on an old RAF station just after the war, just outside Bradham, and we lived in RAF Nissen huts. And of course, outside every Nissen hut was an air raid shelter. So we used to play in those, and like you do when you're silly little kids and that kind of age, and we're going out with our little guns, shooting at each other and chucking stones and whatever. And yeah, but there was loads of air raid shelters. And my eldest brother at the time decided he was going to start keeping pigeons. I don't know why he started keeping pigeons, but he did. And he used the air raid shelter as his loft. Now, I think he was born 1941, and we lived at the RAF station in 1951. So he'll have been about 10 when he started with his pigeons, and it was his life right until he died. He died a youngish age, but he died when he was 40, I think. But pigeons were his, his loft. His loft in later life used to have central heating. His missus used to go crackers, but he always said to you go before the pigeons go. So there you have it. But yeah, he was into his pigeons, and where it came from, I don't really know. But he knew his stuff. Went all over the world with his pigeons. A bit like that chubby guy who used to lift weights. What was his name? Jeff Capes. He was a big bud. Was he a budgie breeder or a pigeon breeder? Might be budgies. Might be thinking about. I don't really know. Anyway, my brother used to go all over. When I say the world, his world. You know what I mean? Across into Europe and round about that way, down into Portugal, I think. And selling his pigeons. Used to bring in big money. But there you go. That was his life, and it's nice when you have a hobby and it lasts. It lasts the whole of your life. Yeah, Kelsey, pigeon fanciers. I tell you what, I've been to a few dinner and dances at the end of the year for, the pigeon fancier thing. But my other brother, the next eldest brother, used to be a long distance lorry driver. That's ever since he came out of the forces. That's what he did. And of course, it was perfect for my older brother because he could put his pigeons in their baskets and stick them on my brother's lorry, and he'd be going across to Spain. And my brother would give him a thing saying, right, when you get to here, let the pigeons out at this time. So lots of times my brother used to have 3 or 4, the long distance lorry driver brother used to have 3 or 4 pigeon baskets in his cab. And of course, when they got abroad, he'd just let them all out and off they'd pop home. I don't suppose you'd be able to do that nowadays because it's, I don't know if pigeons have to have a passport, like a cat and a dog. Would you be able to go abroad nowadays with a pigeon basket with half a dozen pigeons in? I don't know whether you would. Good job we're not at bloody war then, isn't it, really? That was my brain going up on a tangent there. But there you go. Does occasionally. Yeah, pigeon fanciers. In fact, on my mantelpiece, if you want to, I don't know if you can call it a mantelpiece nowadays, on the thing on the wall anyway, I've got a pot pigeon that my brother bought in 1972. And I'm impressed I've still got it because, I've gone through some thick times in my life, lost everything, but the pigeon has stayed with me for some unknown reason. So there you go. Anyway, folks, it's getting to the hour-ish or so. So just to recap, there isn't a lot to recap, is there? Just to go back over, I've had a good chat with Levi this evening, early doors, and plans are afoot. And I'll be on his channel tomorrow to make sure that everything's up and running properly, and we've got stuff in the pipeline ready to go when he comes out. Because of course, he wants to be up and at it as quick as he can. So just got to make sure that everything's working properly, and all the, I don't know what you can call it, but anyway. But yeah, Clary, I can't believe I can't believe how well the first week was a bit rough. The second week was a little bit not as rough. But this week I'm just like back to normal, basically. So yeah, tomorrow night, 7:00, Bobby and myself will be live. And as Kelsey says, it'll be a gentle discussion on the state of the world today. As long as nobody puts in the comments something to get me gob going, because I bite, I can bite really easy. So, folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. I know we don't have a lot of people, but, I appreciate every single one of you. And just remember, down below, you can click the like. And if you don't like, you can click I don't like. Really, no big deal if you click either one. But it is nice if you click the like. Even better if you leave a comment. I do look at the comments, and most of the time if it requires a reply, I reply. So So tomorrow night, this channel, 7 o'clock, Bobby and myself will be live, and I'm quite looking forward to it. So it's live long and prosper, and TTFN. And thanks for coming. And I can't find the button now that stops the... Where's my bloody mouse gone? Oh, there it is. Hello. Yeah. Bye. Oh.